Today's lesson is focusing on citing and explaining evidence. As we go through this assignment, let's refer to the directions. First, you need to read the passage. Then you need to read the question. Then you need to cite the evidence. And then highlight the evidence. And then finally explain the evidence. So the two parts of RACE we're focusing on are C, citing, and E, explaining. Now I'm going to walk you through this, and I'm going to help you with a couple of these, but I'm going to require that you do 3 of them on your own. All right, so when you're quoting a passage for evidence, these are examples to start your sentence. The article states, the article said, the author states, or in the article it says. These are easy ways to remember how to start your sentence. Okay, let's do number 1 together. First, we read the passage. Did you know that some people don't do their reading assignments? It's shocking, but it's true. Some students don't even read short texts that they are assigned in class. There are many reasons for this. They may be distracted or bored. They may be unwilling to focus. They may be unconfident readers. Whatever the reason, it has to stop today. So our question is, what are some reasons students don't do their reading assignments? So what we're going to do here is go down a couple spaces there. And we're going to restate this question, but we're going to use one of these sentence starters. So we're just going to go ahead and start typing. Okay. The article states, so at least we have that started. Now we need to restate this in order to explain our evidence. So we want to say the article states that students don't do their reading assignments because, okay, now why? Go back to the passage. Why don't students do their reading assignments? So some students don't read short texts that they're assigned in class. Why? There are many reasons for this, but now we're coming to the why. They may be distracted or bored. They may be unwilling to focus. They may be unconfident readers. This is my evidence. So I'm going to type in evidence. Okay. And we're going to click the comment button. So now there's my evidence. All right. So I noticed that some of you are highlighting text like this, and then you're going up here and highlighting it up here, and you don't have to do that because when you highlight and then comment, it does it for you. So you don't have to go up here and click this button and highlight any text. Okay, so now we have the reasons. So now we have to finish our sentence. So the article states that students don't do their reading assignments because, and there's a lot of reasons: distracted, bored, unwilling to focus, unconfident. So let's pick 2 or 3 and write them in our sentence. So the article states that students don't do their reading assignments because they are distracted, bored, or unwilling to focus. Okay, there's my citation. I am citing right here. The article states I'm citing what the article states right here. I'm putting that right there. Now I have to do the explain part. So you usually start this sentence off with, this means. What does this mean? We have to figure this out. So you now have to infer what this means. You have to explain why you chose this. So a way to do that is you have to reread what you're saying. The article states that students don't do their reading assignments because they are distracted, bored, or unwilling to focus. This means what? What will happen to the students? Okay? This means what? If students are distracted, bored, or unwilling to focus, what does this mean in school? This means students will probably not do very well in school. Now you've got your citation and you've got your explanation. This is crucial in RACE. You have a citation, this is your cite, and this is your explain. This is the C in RACE. This is the E in RACE. All right, we've done number 1 together. We're going to do number 2 together now. All right? Reading stimulates your mind. It is like a workout for your brain. When people get old, their muscles begin to deteriorate. They get weaker and their strength leaves them. Exercise can prevent this loss. The same thing happens to people's brains when they get older. Brain power and speed decline with age. Reading strengthens your brain and prevents these declines. So the question is, what happens to people's brains as they get older? So, going back up here, we have to use a sentence starter. Which one shall we try? We could go to the article states. That's an easy one to do. The article states. All right, so we have it started. Now we have to cite evidence. What happens to people's brains as they get older? What does it talk about that? When people get old, their muscles begin to deteriorate. They get weaker. Exercise can prevent this loss. The same thing happens to brains when they get older. Oh, brain power and speed decline with age. The question again is, what happens to people's brains as they get older? Their brain power and their speed of thought declines, means it weakens with age. So the article states, let's restate our question, okay? The article states that as people get older, brain power and speed weakens. All right, that's our citation. That's our evidence from the article. So let's highlight that here and we'll write evidence. So we have that off to the side. There it is off to the side. Now we have to explain this. What the heck does this mean? The article states as people get older, brain power and speed weakens. What does this mean? This means we're talking about getting older. So this means that as you get older, what do you need to do? What do you need to do to not let this happen to you? You need to exercise your brain by reading more often. Why am I saying that? Because the purpose is about reading. Reading stimulates your mind. It's a workout for your brain. So we're going back to the text. The article states that as people get older, brain power and speed weakens. This means that as you get older, you need to exercise your brain by reading more often. We're solving this. Okay, Number 3, number 4, and number 5, you're on your own. But I've given you 2 really good examples of how you restate the question using your sentence starters here, finding the evidence to put in your sentence, and then explaining your evidence. So you have a lot of parts to this that you have to do. I'm going to go ahead and read these last 3 to you in case you need a little extra help with what I'm saying here. So I'll read these out loud, but you're going to do them on your own. Number 3, read everything that you can at school, regardless of whether you find it interesting. Reading expands your vocabulary. Even a boring text can teach you new words. Having a larger vocabulary will help you better express yourself. You will be able to speak, write, and think more intelligently. Your question is, how can reading help a student at school? Remember, you're going to use a sentence starter, the article says or the article states. You're going to highlight your evidence. You're going to make that into a sentence, and you're going to use an explanation sentence that starts with "this means." Number 4, do not just discount a text because it is unfamiliar to you. Each time you read, you are exposed to new ideas and perspectives. Reading can change the way that you understand the world. It can give you a broader perspective on things. It can make you worldlier. You can learn how people live in faraway places. You can learn about cultures different from your own. Your question is, how does reading change the way you understand the world? So you take that question, find the answer, highlight it in the text, restate the question, use your sentence starter. The author says, in the text it says, and then use a sentence to explain. This means. Your last passage, number 5, says, reading is good for your state of mind. It has a calming effect. It can lower your stress levels and help you relax. You can escape from your troubles for a moment when you read, and it's a positive escape. The benefits of reading far outweigh those of acting like a doofus. So do yourself a favor. The next time you get a reading assignment, take as much as you can from it. The question is, how is reading good for you? Again, look for evidence. Use your sentence starter. The text says, the article states, and then explain. This means. Okay, you're on your own. Good luck. And if you have any questions, come and talk to me.